Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. The alleged bribery by Qatari sheikhs is not an isolated incident, but part of the Brussels-Strasbourg political and business arrangements. Not only politicians, but also their associates, lobbyists, officials and their families were involved in money laundering and organised crime involving Qatar and Morocco in exchange for influence in the European Parliament. The media reports that some 60 people may already be involved in a corruption scandal. They are talking about activists, politicians and their families or associates. Almost a month after the inconvenient facts first came to light, law enforcement authorities in Belgium have a new lead. According to prosecutors, the main role in the affair was to be played by Antonio Panzeri, a European socialist-affiliated Italian politician who was an MEP from 2004 to 2019. In September 2019, Panzeri founded Fight Impunity, an NGO based in Brussels that deals with human rights organisations and has since become its president. Panzeri's non-governmental organisation featured Belgian MEP Marie Arena. After the services searched her assistant's apartment, the MEP was questioned and relinquished her position on the European Parliament's Human Rights Committee. It is to be suspected that this money not only came from Qatar, Morocco appears. Various other countries appear as well. Belgian daily De Morgen reported today that the European Parliament is launching a procedure to lift the immunity of Mark Tarabella. Fighting for humanitarian rights, the rule of law, peace, transformative justice, engaging in humanitarian actions. This is a perfect cover for those who want to make a quick buck on or at politics. Criticism of the rule of law in Poland and Hungary, fighting for it, fighting populism perfectly serve this purpose. They are also part of the language, this culture full of lofty slogans and full pockets. The European Commission also generously support NGOs that preach slogans that please the European Commission and then treats their opinions as the authentic voice of citizens. According to Law and Justice MEP Bogdan Roncha, we will learn a lot of new facts about Qatar Gate in the near future. We know that this is the tip of the iceberg. We will learn a little more about it. Those people who were arrested will talk about the organisation. Other things will come to light. We will see what resolutions were voted on, who lobbied them. The European Parliament has taken a serious approach to the affair. Vice President Eva Kaili was arrested without waiting for the procedure to waive immunity. Today, in a press release, it was announced that Roberta Metrosola is also preparing reform proposals to improve internal systems, especially in terms of the control of deputies. If the Belgian services act as they should, cooperating with the services of member states, there is a chance that the rule of law in the European Parliament will prevail. If this issue pans out, it will turn out that whoever has money is better, and that would be terrible. Elections to the European Parliament will be held next year. Elections to the European Parliament in Poland, but also many other member states which are governed primarily by the national political logic. We don't so much vote for a representative of a particular European political family or faction in the European Parliament, of a particular agenda that is possible in the European Parliament, but we vote for national political formations and for national politicians, whom we know first and foremost precisely from this national political scene and from their activities in the national context, not in the EU context. In addition to Mark Tarabella, the European Parliament also wants to strip Italian MEP Andrea Cozzolino of his immunity. Day 313 of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Drones and missiles will not help Russia because Ukrainians are united and Russians are isolated, President Volodymyr Zelensky said in an evening speech on Sunday. He said that Ukrainian forces downed 45 Iranian drones on New Year's night. Russia's defense ministry confirmed earlier reports of a Ukrainian attack with HIMARS missiles on the site of a Russian unit in occupied Makayevka in the Donetsk region. The Russian terrorists entered this year as pathetic as they were. Our defenders have shown on January the 1st that they are as great as they were before. These days it is ultimately clear how far we have moved away mentally, simply as humans, from what Russia is brewing in. The feeling we all have of unity, of authenticity, life itself, contrasts sharply with the fear that prevails in Russia. They are afraid. You can feel it. And they are right to be afraid, because they will lose. Drones, missiles, everything else will not help them, because we stand united. They are united only by fear. And they won't take away any single year from Ukraine. They will not take away our independence. We will not give them anything. New year, new day, new results. 45 Shaheds were shot down on the first night of the year. I'm thankful to our Air Force, pilots and the aircraft troops. They are responsible for 33 Shaheds. Thank you to the air defense units of our land forces. They downed another 12 Iranian drones. Well done, guys. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Defence Mariusz Błaszczak has signed an annex to the 2020 contract for the procurement of Grot carbines for the Polish army. An additional 70,000 of these weapons will be delivered to the army over the next 3 years. These are proven to be good rifles. They are rifles that are appreciated by soldiers of the Polish army, but also by soldiers of the Ukrainian army. Despite the fact that this product was so attacked, it proved itself in battle. This is the most important test that the Grot carbine passed, which is why we are ordering almost 70,000 additional Grot carbines. And we are also talking about signing another annex in the next few weeks. Our needs are big. As I said, we maintain our goal of a minimum of 300,000 soldiers in the Polish army, so that's a number of carbines we can talk about. But of course, that's not all, because we also need to have carbines prepared to equip reservists. Queues built up in St. Peter's Square earlier today as the faithful made their way into the famous basilica to pay their respects to former Pope Benedict XVI. I have wonderful memories of him as a pope and as a theologian. I have read some of his books and he impressed me so much. Pope Benedict was a good pope in every sense. His decisions to step down was a wise one at the time. It was a choice made for God, and a strong change was needed in the church. Mourners from around the world joined members of the clergy in lines waiting to file past Benedict's body. Former Pope Benedict XVI, 95, died on Saturday morning in the Vatican after his health suddenly deteriorated over Christmas. He was Pope between 2005 and 2013, when he became the first in 600 years to step down instead of ruling for life. The funeral will be conducted by Pope Francis in St. Peter's on Thursday. American actor Jeremy Renner was seriously injured and is in hospital after an incident while clearing snow with his own snowplow. Jeremy Renner is perhaps best known for his roles in The Hurt Locker and superhero roles in Marvel comic book adaptations, among others.
The accident occurred on the grounds of Jeremy Renner's residence. The 51-year-old actor's condition is critical but stable. An investigation has been launched to clarify the circumstances of the accident. According to the Deadline portal, Jeremy Renner was transported to the hospital by air. Sunday's winter attack left 35,000 Northern California residents without electricity. Renner posted photos and videos on social media after the snowstorm that passed over Lake Tahoe. In one of the photos, he can be seen in front of a snowplow for clearing roads. He won Best Actor for the 2008 film The Hurt Locker and has received 2 Oscar nominations for the crime drama film The Town. The actor also starred in multiple Marvel projects. In addition to being an Avenger, Renner has starred in 2 Mission Impossible films, as well as Arrival, American Hustle, and 28 Weeks Later.
That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business, and more programs. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.